G'day, welcome back again, and thank you for joining us once again on our journey. This week we leave the fun town, very small town of Engonnia, make our way through Burke and Cobar, and we'll finish the episode in Broken Hill. Along the way we have some really good scenery, some road work that we do. We see some of the animals that are grazing around the place, and we stay at some, and we look at the sites, museums and lots of displays in the various towns, and take some walks as well. So sit back and relax. Enjoy the episode. So we're on the side of the road, about 80 clicks out of Cobar. We stayed at Engonnia last night, a tiny little town just inside the New South Wales border, about 27 kilometres in. Really nice day. Greg and Kim were great hosts, and the room for $85 was excellent. Great dinner, very modest price as well, and just great company, really well laid out. And really enjoyed it. Yeah, very quiet. So we're heading to Cobar today. It's going to be very hot, around about 36 or so. Resting up in a caravan park there for a couple of days, and we'll keep on heading down later. So that's it.
We've just arrived in Cobar, and we've come straight up to the tourist information to find a bit out about Cobar. And they have this wonderful little museum here, really beautiful, inside in an old historic building, and then the outside, mind you it is a bit hot, with all the old machinery and equipment, and it's all about the Cobar mine, which of course I had no idea existed. Copper, zinc, no, copper, lead, gold, maybe zinc, I'm not sure.
Well, here we are in the Cobar Museum. Really well done. A great mix of storytelling and artefacts, and a real good chronological, easy to follow events from the history of the museum or the town, from yesteryear through to today. Really a big shout out to the museum. Good value for money. I think it's about $5 a head, and the girls there were very accommodating. It was quite hot outside, and we just asked to place our bike jackets down. They put them over the air conditioners so they'd be cool when we left. Big shout out. Thank you very much.
What I can say is it's pretty hot out here in my bike pants. I think we've hit about 35 degrees. And it's time to go and find the caravan park and check in, I think, and get some cooler gear on. But this has been a really interesting visit here at the museum. It's been great. Here we are, end of the day in Cobar, having a little walk as the sun goes down, swatting the flies. Barnet, I think. Not quite sure. So we're here for 2 nights. Have a really lovely cabin at the caravan park. But there's no pool, and I thought there was a pool. But anyway, here comes the trucks.
Well, unfortunately, soon enough it was time to leave Cobar. So we got up early and went for a bit of a run around the town. We then finished up and sat in the main street with a coffee and watched the town wake up. Once we got active and on the bike, we visited the Fort Burke, which overlooks an underground mine which is still active, and it started in about the 1880s. Cobar at its peak had 3 villages, and it was around about 15,000 people there. And at its prime, there was around 19 hotels. We then headed off, visited the Newey Reserve, which was a great spot, lots of bird life, and it was very picturesque for a mining town. Fueled the bike, and off we went, and headed off to Broken Hill.
Having a quick little stop, already about 29 degrees and it's only about 8:30, and there are flies everywhere. What a joy. All part of the fun. Heading for Engonnia, which is about another 100 k's to go. So where are we, Craig? Little Topar. Little Topar. Yeah. And we're about 80 k's out of Broken Hill. You can have a lead if you want. What a cute little spot. Nice cold drink. Here we are on Broken Hill, about 6 a.m. We're going for a walk while it's cool and not too many flies, and we're going to walk up here to that, which is the Miners Museum, and it's called Line of the Lode.
Very good.
How about that? There's my history lesson for the day, that's all I know. And a bit like Mount Isa, the mine is right on the town, and of course I had no idea. Any words of wisdom here, Craig? Know any history?
Not history, but interesting fact. I didn't know this, probably a million people do. but Broken Hill is actually on South Australian time.
Yes.
Found that out last night, so it's a bit like daylight savings ending. We get half an hour sleep in this morning, which is nice.
So we had to wait an extra half hour at the pub for our meal.
Yeah.
Such a bad thing.
No, but it's good. The guy at the Visitors Information Centre was very informative.
Yeah.
So this is the original part of the town, or the mine, which actually they started in Silverton and they found something here. Told a bit of a story about how that happened, the founders of BHP. But also something like $100 billion worth of metals, zinc, copper, gold, etc. being extracted from this mine over the last 140 years.
Yeah.
100 billion, that's a lot. That's a lot. So
That's a lot.
and it's also Broken Hill's the first heritage town.
Yes, that's
Is that what
right.
they're called?
Yeah, they
Heritage-
first listed Heritage
City, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we're about to climb up there. So that'll be a good walk this morning. And it should be spectacular when we get there.
Well, the early morning start was worth it because at the Miners Museum was just fantastic. Really well laid out, and I thought very respectful for the, quite frankly, hundreds of men that had died there and had worked there to produce so much wealth for Australia. It was great to see the town too. The town just fell out around it before it, as we looked over the top, and the sunrise was absolutely spectacular. It's great to see the artefacts that were there, various buckets and machinery, and you just realise how tough it was to be a miner through the various stages of that history. From the modern diggers and excavators, etc., coming from really primitive and hard stuff to operate, dangerous stuff to operate. And I thought the way that they did the Wall of Remembrance was very special, and the fact that they actually had names and really were clear on what happened to these men. And it was just heartbreaking to see some of the injuries and the absolute waste of life. And towards the end, you can see safety has improved a lot. Therefore, there are fewer names, thank God for that. Then the view, as I said before, was absolutely spectacular. And I just thought it's such a great setup there, and it'll be good to see that someone takes it over because they're looking for someone to run it up there. And then we headed on back to town to continue on with our day. I say this a lot, but the visit to Broken Hill was really worth the effort. It was a great place, and it really just gave us the message about how important that city has been to the development of Australia. We headed off towards Adelaide, and we stopped at a little town called Peterborough, which had a train museum. It was very interesting as well. All these country towns have got a great story to tell that I've told before. But the rush was on. We had to get to Adelaide to get the bike serviced because we had to get ready to make a trip up to the centre, and it was overdue, and you don't want a bike that's not fully serviced. So next episode takes us to Adelaide, and we'll see you then.